Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Woo. I know we've been doing these Thursdays, but it's been a heck of a couple of weeks. So uh, it's good to be back. It is good to be back. What more can I say? Whew. So hope everybody out there tonight so far is having a very good night. I gotta bring up the pop out the chat. So yeah, it doesn't, guys, there isn't it may not look like there's a lot to talk about, but there's quite a bit to talk about. So that's the good news. The whole thing with SBF. Wow, we're gonna find out. If you guys haven't read everything yet, it's interesting, just to say the least. Also, Aaron Dean. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I see David. Yeah, he got screwed. I think he did, but I think I can explain why it happened. I think it's more than just it being like a compromise verdict. So we shall get there. Hello, hello, David. Hello, Sweet Tooth. Hello, Iconoclast, Aplexity, Zero Signal. Trot, how you doing? Oh, RN. Glad to see you again and actually caught you live. Yes, yes, you did. Good to see you. Sheeple, everybody. So, yes, I wanted to say we will be having a lot of stuff going forward, especially in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, it's the Christmas time. The neat thing about that is generally courts don't like doing stuff around Christmas time. So, if you do stuff, it's fairly quick. I will have a lot of time. I'm planning on getting stuff up on locals. We'll be doing a lot there. And before the stream ends, I do have a locals announcement, so I will put that out there. Bren, biochemist, how you doing? A-dubs, hello. Uh, yeah, I didn't do it. My lawyer fucked me. Well, we shall see. I think it was a little more than that. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. Mark, hello. Holy cow, Mark! It's got to be 5.5 hours ahead, so it's like 5:30 in the morning for you guys out there. Thank you for stopping by. I know that's I'm glad you're spending your Friday morning with me. Bren, hello. Dcar 93, Miss Dinga Dinga, hello. David saying, "Don't get me wrong, lady would have been on the right." We'll get to this. We'll get to this, David. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I promise. Yeah. So I hope you guys have had a great week. I know I did. I came into this week thinking it was gonna be awful, 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 and things worked out. Uh, usually you're like, oh, things are gonna, everything will be a okay, and then it still doesn't go a okay, and yet for me tonight, everything turned out good. So, yay for me. I guess you can say. I need to close the door. There we go. Parallax, we're gonna star that one for later. I'm sure, and we'll give Bronco a plug as well. So, where are we to begin? Well, we still got a couple more minutes. So, oh, and I see there we go. Dark Watch is saying, "Oh, David Earl Warden, yeah, yeah, Earl kind of got what was coming to him." If you guys don't know, that one's a little. What that guy did, wow, yeah, we're not. He deserves his own show. He deserves his own show. Jim, I have a theory on why he got convicted, but I don't think it was racism, and I'll explain why. So, Charles, Freedom Ring, hello. All right, guys, it's about time. Oh, TN, you thought 9 p.m.? No, I never do it. I always do 9:30. So, and after this, guys, I will be going on with Joe. Not sure. Joe invited me on. I don't think I got a chance to see what's up tonight with him. So, I actually have some good news. Some Daddy Elon did some things tonight on Twitter, but I'm gonna go talk with Joe about that tonight. So we're gonna hold off on that. So, all right, guys, here we go. The first thing, Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, has finally been indicted and finally arrested. Now he's arrested in the Bahamas, which, I'm sure he's not going to be found dead in his jail cell anytime soon, given he's in a foreign government's custody. I mean, that would never, ever, ever, ever happen. Then again, that would never, ever, ever happen in a federal detention facility either. But let's be honest, I'm not sure Sam is long for this world at this point. But what do we know? Well, we learned a lot of things, and oh my god, a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things. And what specifically did we learn? Well, first of all, he got indicted in the Southern District of New York. And I guess we'll start off with that. Now, this, guys, this is going to be very basic bitch. And I say that in the sense of he got indicted. Like, ooh, sealed indictment. I love how this one's done on like a typewriter. Like they found the oldest grand jury equipment in the courthouse to work on this. So he got a couple of different counts, and it's the things you think would happen. Wire fraud on customers, count one. Oh, he committed wire fraud. Shocker. You keep scrolling down, count two, wire fraud on customers. Okay, yeah. Once again, I'm not shocked. He used computers to do it. Count three, conspiracy to commit wire fraud with lenders. Yeah, all this money had to be lent from someone if he didn't fleece the customers. Count four, wire fraud. Yeah, once again, is anybody here surprised at this? Count five, conspiracy to commit commodities fraud. I'm not surprised. That's pretty basic. And they don't talk about a whole lot here. It's very, very short, and we'll see why it's important. Count six, conspiracy to make securities fraud. Yeah, nothing impressive there. Count seven, conspiracy to commit money laundering. That's an interesting one. And then there is a couple that I think are very good here. Count eight, conspiracy to defraud the United States and violate campaign finance laws. Yes, that one is interesting because we did hear that he donated millions and millions of dollars, up to $50 million, to mainly Democratic groups. Uh, so makes you wonder who he broke the laws to donate money to. And then with the feds, there are some forfeiture allegations. Like I said, his indictment, it's yawn. That's not really where the good stuff is. The realty, um, we're not saving changes to it. Where the realty is, oh, I brought that down. The realty is this here. This is from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They are a federal agency. This is also filed in the Southern District of New York. Now, they're not seeking him for criminal acts. This is for injunctive relief and other equitable relief, civil monetary penalties under the Commodity Exchange Act and commission regulations. and this is a jury trial, so they want to go after him civilly. But this was done in conjunction with the criminal prosecution. And this one here, if you guys noticed, that indictment is 14 pages long. This is 40. Oh my God, there is some stuff in here, kids. Just you watch. But we'll get to the basic stuff here. Um, Sam Bankman started Almeida, a digital asset firm, in 2017. Okay. In May 2019, he launched FTX trading. And it goes from there. So we'll start with getting to the interesting stuff. You guys can read through a couple of these paragraphs, catches you along. Throughout the relevant period, which is the time this is all going on, um, Bankman Fried and at least one Almeida executive. Almeida used FTX funds, including customer funds, to trade on other digital asset exchanges and to fund a variety of high risk industry investments. That's once again, we already knew that, but now they're putting it down on paper. So this is confirmed. All right. And at least one Almeida executive, which I'm assuming is his girlfriend, Catherine Ellison, who I'm assuming has not been indicted because she is snitching like a boss right now, trying to save her butt. I know Rob mentioned it last night when he was on with Joe. I wholeheartedly agree. Where is she? I mean, either she's dead or she's talking. I don't think she's on the run. She doesn't strike me as being sophisticated. She also talks about routinely using meth. So there's no way you can run like that. I think she's either dead or, talking to the feds, trying to save her butt. She's going to go to prison through this, but we'll find out. Actually, hold on. There's some questions. Yeah. Was it on paper? Okay. Can they go after his donations to repay the investors? I'm assuming the feds are going to take whatever they can get and go after him. I'm not sure though. It could easily happen. Oh, it's Carolyn Ellison. I don't really. She's in trouble, so oh well. Okay. Harris, you're saying could he be charged with fraud for every person he has an account with FTX? I mean, theoretically, yes, but that's not how they're going to do it. They just like fraud in the general sense. Isn't she the one whose father's in the CIA? It wouldn't surprise me if there's some spook activity tied to this. Spooks, I mean spies, guys, not the derogatory term. um, so, but let's get back to this because it does get better. Um, Unless reinstated and joined by this court, the defendants are likely to continue to engage in the acts and practices alleged in this complaint and similar acts and practices as described below. And why is that important? Well, because Sam Bankman has said, I want to get back to doing this. I want to make the money back. I can help us. I can fix this, you guys. Just trust me. I mean, he's coming to you like a crackhead, like, look, give me 20 more bucks. I can fix this up, car just needs a little bit of gas, man. But you can trust me. No way in hell he's getting that money. But he's trying to. He's out there hustling again. And he did it without remorse and without any sense of shame. You can see here the CFTC highlights how they're able to do this under federal law. And we'll get to jurisdiction and venue. We could talk about federal jurisdiction, I'm sure. And if you guys really want to, we'll do it at some point, but that's a snoozicle if we're going to do it. The parties, CFTC, they talk about Bankman, FTX trading, Almeida, they get through it. The statutory background legal framework, we don't really need to get into any of that stuff here. We got to get into the facts, the tea. I mean, that like sipping on that tea. So, as stated, Almeida was founded in 2017 for digital asset arbitrage trading. Throughout the relevant period, Bankman Fried owned 90% of Almeida. Bankman Fried was CEO of Almeida until 2021. At that time, he appointed 2 CEOs to replace him. I mean, I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? I mean, I've read this before, but he owned 90% of Almeida. Holy Jesus. I mean, like I said, we knew, but we didn't really know. Um, you know, SBF maintained direct decision making over Almeida's major trading, investment, and financial decisions. This authority was exercised in part through his regular, often daily participation in various in person and mobile chat conferences. So it's funny when you hear Sam SBF on there like, "Oh, I didn't know what was going on. I really wasn't sure." It's all bull. He knew. He knew from the start what he was doing. He knew the whole time. Just like the Book of Eli, he was blind the whole time. He knew the whole time what was going on, shaking everything down. Uh yes, and here they do talk about in this paragraph here 31, they talk about the beginnings of how they built FTX and they worked on what was going on here. Binance initially had a 20% stake in FTX. Once again, we see Binance freaking out about this now, and we're learning Binance isn't really solvent either. Their balance sheets aren't very good. Like, ooh, this is just turning into a bad thing. SBF was the majority shareholder at FTX and all their related entities. Starting to see a pattern here. I don't know about you, but I am a little bit. And they go on to further explain what a backstop liquidity provider is. If you guys don't really understand these things, I think they're very helpful. There's a lot here if you aren't familiar with it before. It is interesting how these things work. Um, but that said, in August 2022, during a media appearance, Almeida CEO said the following with their relationship. They're both owned by Sam Fried, honestly, obviously. So ultimately, they're sort of aligned incentives in that way. We keep them quite separate because we have a Chinese wall. Yeah, a wall that apparently was paper thin, probably like a sheet of toilet paper between. Actually, yeah, too bad I don't have a roll of toilet paper here. I'd be like, it's that thick. We definitely have a Chinese wall in terms, and a Chinese wall is meant to separate conflicts of interest out. And it's mainly basically here's a Chinese wall. Scouts honor, we won't do anything. Or is this Scouts honor? I don't. I wasn't a Boy Scout, so I don't know. So so throughout the relevant period, Almeida and FTX shared office space in Berkeley, then in Hong Kong, and then in the Bahamas. They also shared personnel, technology, hardware, IP, and other resources. Uh, SBF and others in Almeida and FTX had widespread access to each other's systems and accounts. Hmm, this is getting great. This is getting great, isn't it? I mean, like I said, guys, there's a lot we knew, but there's a lot I don't think everybody really knew. So this talks about the beginning of how things started falling apart. Customers seeking to deposit fiat currency, which is, you know, glorious fiat, glorious fiat, the funny money. Um, Traditional government issue currency, which was really manipulated too. I mean, I guess we'll just keep that part a secret. We'll act like that's different than having cryptocurrency. Um, into their FTX accounts were directed to wire their funds to bank accounts that were owned and controlled by Almeida. Huh. Ooh, that's goofy. And then all these were owned and operated by an entity called North Dimension, which were subsidiary of Almeida. And that was intentionally not identified as Almeida. Oof. Hmm. It's like you're trying to hide stuff from people, your SBF. Um, Throughout the relevant period, Almeida accessed and used FTX customer accounts for Almeida's own operations and activities, including funding its trading, investment, and borrowing and lending. So not only did they borrow on individual customers' money, they lent out your money. Hmm. God, you know, just so brazen what they would do here. These are talks about the FTX. They indicated and made promises to customers, and they go through all the promises they make here, and it's just ridiculous. And the statements about the customer assets included misstatements that were made to Congress, the CFTC, and other federal and state government agencies, investors, and in public venues. So, yeah, a lot of people are in trouble. And SBF has testified to Congress before, and he lied. So he's got a lot of problems coming. Oh boy. Well, besides the unending stream of hitmen coming after him, he's got the government coming after him too. Now this is interesting. These are great. Almeida's special relationship with FTX. um, Almeida was exempt from the auto liquidation risk engines. Um, they would be not bound by anything else. All customers who took on too much leverage or risk on FTX would be auto liquidated. They wouldn't let you do it and over leverage because they weren't going to let you cause problems. Almeida was exempt. It could not be liquidated on FTX trading under any conditions. And this is hard coded into the system. So they're operating in God mode. Almeida also had, oh God, I need to change the color on this. This is not a good color here. Sorry, guys. This is not a good color here. Hold on here. We'll do this in red. Almeida's account also had a special designation as an allow negative flag, which allowed Almeida to execute a transmission even if he didn't have the funds available to do so. Almeida also had an essentially unbounded credit limit in the database. Notice you're not getting that. So yes, Almeida got to play God mode. Almeida got to play God mode. Guys, I am trying to keep up here. So, yes, yes, iconoclast, yes. Government issued script. Yes, that's all that is. Okay. Let me see here. I just want to catch up. Oh, hide this. We got to get back to reading. We're going to plow through this here. On at least one occasion, Almeida had reached a previously set borrowing limit for its FTX account. In response, and guys, listen, like read here. We're going to read this. We are going to read this. Like this is not a joke. In response, Bankman-Fried, SBF. Oh, we got to back up. We were full Zoom. In response, Bankman-Fried directed FTX personnel to raise borrowing limits to a level that was unlikely to ever be exceeded. They basically went on the computer and said they can borrow like $11 bajillion. This is stuff you're not allowed to. This is really freaking illegal. And notice that there isn't a really good cover up here. This isn't being done in a very shifty manner. There's like, yeah, do whatever you want. This is mind blowing to me. How Miss Dingadinga says this is like the reading rainbow. Well, okay, so I will explain. This is how I do my like when I was in law school. This is how I would use books because if you've got a couple different colors of highlighters, here's the problem. If I go into a book and I'm highlighting things and I use everything here, I use this highlighter. It's going to be just one solid page of yellow. Well, if you break it up, you've got, here's your colors of highlighters, use them. And you can break things up. I don't color code stuff. I just did it to break it up. It catches the eye a little bit better. And also it just, you're otherwise, if it's just an entire highlighted page, everybody glosses over. So I just want to do just a little tip for you guys out there if you're in school and studying. That's how I did it. Almeida's borrowed funds could okay, yes, on information, FTX personnel ultimately raised their limit to tens of billions of dollars. Yeah, so basically to infinity. Almeida was running God mode with all the hacks turned on. Almeida's borrowed funds could also be withdrawn from FTX. Funny, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that at all. So just something to think about. Just a little bit something to think about. Almeida's ability to withdraw unlimited funds from FTX was not publicly disclosed. Yeah, because nobody would want to stick around. Um, Almeida's transactions were received several milliseconds faster than those of other API users. And actually that's a problem, but I mean, we go back to what happened with Robinhood during the whole GameStop issue. That was happening too because the companies that were the hedge funds and investment firms that were backing Robinhood were given priority access and quicker times. And yes, several milliseconds can change things drastically. So that's actually a common thing. It's still scummy and shady, but that happens. That's not the biggest thing. If that's all FTX did and Almeida did, nobody would be in trouble. Uh the additional execution time privilege was because they weren't subject to automated verification processes, because the above features an account made it unnecessary to carry out the steps like making sure they had the available funds. Because remember, Almeida was told the system, they're on God mode, do whatever they want. By avoiding this account API lock, Almeida gained significant speed advantage. If other customers place several orders at once, these checks occurred in sequential order, so each transaction could be confirmed as viable. This didn't apply to Almeida. Once again, they were operating however they wanted. Once again, guys, I really tried to get to the juicy stuff here. During the relevant period, Almeida took out a large number of loans, totaling as much as 10 billion in notional value. Oh my God, they took out these loans, and where's the rest of the money? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. Part F, the misappropriation of customer funds. So now we're just saying, hey, we're not even hiding the fact of what happened here. It's just misappropriated funds. Oh my God. Good Lord. Good Lord on a surfboard. Um, in approximately May and or June of 2022, Almeida was subject to a large number of such margin calls and loan recalls. Why? The crypto market tanked and it got jacked up really bad. So what happened? It didn't have sufficient liquid assets to cover its loans, and instead, at SPF's direction, Almeida just started paying off these margin calls with FTX customer funds. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy crap. We knew, but it's impressive to actually see this in writing. I don't know about you guys, but to me, just seeing that in writing. Oh, by approximately mid-2022, FTX internal ledgers reflected the balance of Almeida's fiat liability to FTX totaled approximately $8 billion. A staggering amount, apparently, which, that sounds like a lot, but when you consider it's an amount greater than FTX's total lifetime revenue. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hmm. I don't know how this guy's not been murdered yet, because he had to have pissed off somebody important. So, in a way to hide this, they created a fake customer account on FTX and put the 8 billion in a customer account that they would later refer to as our Korean friends account and or the weird Korean account. I guess we'll have to talk to Andrew and Jeff about, when Korea, is there something weird about Koreans and lending or something? I'm not sure. Uh, but unlike the other Almeida sub accounts, it was not opened under an Almeida.com identifier. So yes, they put it all in a burner account. Probably, totally our Korean friend at Yahoo. Whew. As a result, it was no longer apparent that FTX had an 8 billion negative balance due to Almeida. Oh my God. Uh, In September, SBF drafted a document and shared around that whether Almeida should be permanently shut down. Yes. Interesting. SBF laid out a number of large downsides of shutting down Almeida, including those that reflected the interconnectedness between Almeida and FTX trading operations, such as less liquidity on FTX, and the observation that given the amount that Almeida is doing, we really can't shut it down. I mean, I guess if you're going to lie, you may as well say, hey, we're doing really good, not, oh my God, if we shut it down, the whole house of cards collapses. But hey, you know, I guess it's all about that, glass half empty, glass half full. Oh, and then yes, they talk about the collapse. And guys, don't worry, we're almost done here. And we'll get to Aaron Dean. Uh by late in the day on November 7th, it was apparent that FTX did not have sufficient funds to cover all customer withdrawals, and that there were not sufficient funds held in various FTX accounts to cover all customer deposit obligations. So, real quick, guys, big tip. I'm not telling you how to invest or where to invest, but don't put your stuff in an exchange like that. Do the trade, get out, put it back in your wallet. Don't let somebody hold on to it because that's how it disappears. If you pop in and pop out, that's a safer way of handling it because a lot of people got hosed. I mean, oh no. Uh-oh. Who's texting me here? Okay. Let me see here. Sorry, I had to check that real quick. Um, but that said though, on what did SBF do? He continued to tweet, everything is fine. It's totally fine. All the assets are fine. FTX is enough to cover all client holdings. We don't invest client assets, even in treasuries. God, why would you invest in treasuries? My God. I'd rather they piss the money away in other stuff. Investing in treasuries is still like basic. Uh so on November 10th, Bankman at 4 a.m., Bankman signed a document resigning his position as CEO of FTX, as a majority of all FTX trading and Almeida companies, and authorizing the independent CEO in the filing of Chapter 11. The next day, 134 separate companies simultaneously filed for bankruptcy. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh no! Um, as a result of all this bankruptcy filings, the new appointed CEO said of the situation he encountered. This guy has over 40 years of legal restructuring. He was involved. I've been involved in supervised allegations of criminal activity and malfeasance at Enron. He's been involved in Nortel, overseas shipholding. Those are actually these were big bankruptcies. Enron and Residential Capital, very big things, guys. But here we go. Never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. From compromised systems integrity and faulty regulatory oversight abroad to the concentration of control in the hands of a very small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals. This situation is unprecedented. Whew. Well, when you put it like that, I mean, when you put it like that. And then, if you guys are aware, and we talked about this last week, SBF has been giving interviews out the butt, saying like, "Yeah, I messed up. I shouldn't have been doing this. Shouldn't have been doing that." Admitting to all kinds of malfeasance and negligence. And then he gave an interview to Vox where he says "Oh, FTX doesn't have a bank account. I guess people can wire to Almeida's to get money in to FTX." And then he's like, 3 years later, "Oh fuck, it looks like people wired $8 billion to Almeida, and oh god, we basically forgot about the stub account that corresponded to that, so it was never delivered to FTX. Tee LOL Lamau. That's his excuse. Trying to laugh it off. They did then talk about the effects this has on the commodity market for futures. And all I can say is, guys, I am not the most astute financial guy in the world, but look at that. Here you go. Here is Bitcoin futures. Boom. Here is Ethereum futures. Then we get to the great part. Violations of the Commodity Exchange Act. Count 1, fraud. Okay, yeah, he committed fraud. We get that. Count 2, he fraudulently misstated material facts. Okay. Just by a little bit. I mean, that's a little bit there. The relief requested. Once again, guys, these are not people looking to put him in jail. They want an order prohibiting the defendants from engaging in conduct, similar to this in commodities involvement. And then you get down to here, they want a couple different things. They want to make full restitution. That ain't happening. Directing defendants to pay civil monetary penalties. Okay, with what money? I mean, let's be real. There's a demand for a jury trial. Like I said, guys, I thought that was really kind of important to know. Kind of important to know what's going on out there, because that is lad. But wait, it gets worse. There's if you go on Forbes, SBF did release his Senate testimony got leaked. And part of it is FTX's international influence. And this is part of his statement. To my knowledge, serious problems that occurred as a result of the crash in early November all happened on FTX International. We know that's a lie. FTX US, and that's where people were trading in America, was not generally affected or remains, to my knowledge, fully solvent. That is a lie. FTX International is a separate entity. That is a lie. On paper, it's separate, but they're all commingled. FTX terms of service prohibit customers from the following locations to access their platform. The U.S. because you're not allowed to do that. You have to go through U.S. regulated entities, allegedly, and so there's supposed to be protections, which there weren't in this case. Cuba, Crimea, and then we go to the next page. Crimea and Sevastopol. That's also in Crimea. It's the biggest city in Crimea. The Luhansk People's Republic. The Donetsk People's Republic. Okay. Iran, Afghanistan, Syria, and North Korea. All right. You're not letting the bad guys do this. Okay. FTX headquarters are in the Bahamas. Okay. Nearly 100 employees in the Bahamas, and did not, to my knowledge, maintain any employees primarily based in the United States outside of U.S. legal counsel. That's probably a lie, too, given what SBF has said. FTX International is regulated in a large number of jurisdictions, including the Bahamas, Australia, the UAE, Japan, and others, but not the U.S. I'm going to get to this part here. Right there, guys. There's 2 countries. Switzerland. The questionable banking practices in history. At least they don't. They just take your money and do it. And then finally, Cyprus. This is where I wish I had a producer and I could get my camera tightened up, because I would say, guys, tighten up on me right now. If you guys don't know where Cyprus is, it's in the Mediterranean Ocean. It is an island that both Turkey and Greece control. They actually went to war over it in the 70s. And the UN splits the middle. Cyprus is full of organized crime. Cyprus is full of drug trafficking. It's a waypoint. and since more digital issues have been going on, Cyprus is a massive money laundering hub. Massive money laundering hub. Switzerland, to be fair, is a massive money laundering hub. Gee, I wonder what they were doing in those two places. You know, all that Ukrainian aid money that disappeared. Gee, I wonder where that went through. Maybe Cyprus. Huh. I don't know. I'm just a schmucky attorney in Ohio. I don't know anything better. I don't know at all. I'm just a simple man. So, yes, this is great. So, yes. So, I'm sure things are only going to get better from here. The, Binance is in trouble. There's allegations Tether is a disaster waiting to happen as well. I can't tell you guys what to do. I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. But there are, this is going to, things are about to get bumpy, I think, at the very least. At the very least. Uh, Catnip Dave saying, "Have you proven correctional jurisdiction on what grounds in the record?" No, no, there's no tacket jurisdiction either. Jim Satala, Jim, how are you doing? It's good to see you, brother. Saying, but Binance is owned by the CCP, so they'll be propped up by the government. Yeah, but I have the feeling if you rip off the Chinese government, their intelligence organization, the MSS, the Ministry for State Security, they'll kill you. I I mean, yeah, it's one thing to piss off like organized crime from certain countries, but a country that operates like a gangster organization in and of itself, like the Chinese government, I'm surprised they haven't sent people to kill him. That's kind of like a. I am surprised that has not happened yet. Whew. Sheeple Hunter says sharing accounts is no big deal. Ask Hunter and Joe. Oh. Porcelain Thunder says Sam Bankman incarcerated. Uncle Bubba says, are his parents in trouble too? I mean, for now, no. But who knows if that changes if we figure out how much they're really involved. Uh, SBF kind of alludes that his dad was involved, but I don't know for sure on what he knew. Trot golfer, yeah. Do you ever get the feeling that we're slaves? I mean, I've had that thought before, and things like this don't really dissuade me from that. Ross Wolf here is very correct. Why do you think he bought so many politicians? Oh, definitely. Why did we find out that Maxine Waters is not going to call him before the House committee to testify? Yeah. Get your noggin jogging just a little bit, don't it? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. James PFP says, I get the feeling where Charlie Brown in the system is Lucy. Who gave the system a football? I don't know. I agree. I agree. Dan Saturday says most slaves aren't obese though. Yeah, but if you're fat and happy and complacent, then they can do whatever they want. So I don't know if that was just at me or just in general, but yes, this is a different kind of slavery. I would argue it's a different kind of slavery that's being waged. Think about in Wally. The people on the boats were enslaved because they got just wrapped around stuff and fed all the time. The computer wanted that because it can control. Yes, in general, I know. I was just trying to Oh. Captain Chromo says, I wonder if they had any dealings in Montenegro. God, I bet if you found any disgusting area where money can disappear, it went there. Cyprus is being a good example of, yeah, where the banking laws are lax. Yeah, there's Ukraine and Cyprus. The problem is, once the money's in Ukraine, you got to get it out of Ukraine to launder it around. So, a common lawyer says this is Brave New World versus 1984. Yeah, yeah, we are. Yeah, no lies detected. JP says the flesh is weak, and it is. But that is why your faith in the Emperor is strong, stronger than the strongest steel. Arash, long time no see. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Oh, same to you. And also to everybody out there, Merry Christmas coming up, happy holidays. And if you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. If you celebrate Chanukah, happy Hanukkah coming up. I'll probably tell it to Joe when I go on later tonight. um, Real quick before we hit over, are you going to visit Nick's birthday stream tonight around 2300 and midnight central, midnight EST? Sure. Well, I mean, if he sends me an invite, sure. If not, I'll just be in the stream watching. Should be a fun time. And yeah, he's happy birthday, Nick. Happy birthday in advance. Happy popping out of your mom day today. We shall celebrate it. All right, guys. The next thing was Aaron Dean. Oh, so Aaron Dean, if you guys weren't aware, he is a police officer in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He shot a woman while he was responding to a call, and they thought it was a burglary. Let's see if we can get the body cam here, because let's just go for broke on this. Here is the body cam of what happened, and we're going to talk about what happens from there. Okay, StreamYard. God, StreamYard, you are killing me some days. So here we go, guys. So they were called to a possible burglary. So as you can see, they were called to a burglary, and there's crap all over the place. Oh, wow, that was actually, sorry, guys. That was on 2 times speed. Sorry. I didn't realize that. We'll get to this part here.
Put your hands up. Show me your hands.
All right. So it's not pretty. And he shot Atiana Jefferson. Killed her. So he stood trial, and today he was convicted. He was not convicted of murder, but he was convicted of manslaughter. Now, just watching that, yeah, are there some issues? Sure. They didn't identify themselves. So think about it. You're in your house and you hear some people outside and you see a flashlight and somebody carrying a gun. What are you thinking? Might be a burglar, might be a robber, might just be somebody up to no good. So what did she do being a homeowner? Well, she grabbed her piece, and it's interesting, and I say this is the tragic part of it. She held her fire. 'Cause I think she was worried, "Oh my god, who is it? I wanna make sure I don't shoot the wrong person." Dean, on the other hand, goes, show your hands, bop." That's the tragedy of this. I mean, really, in a just world, how this should have gone, I think it's a burglar, bop, 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 and, Dean gets shot. Why? Well, one of these people is enjoying their night in their own home, doing nothing wrong. The other guy is coming into a situation and, kinda, "Hey, you get paid to be risky." I wish it would have happened in reverse, and the victim would still be alive. Now, do I think it's self-defense? This is one of those few times where they both have a valid argument. I saw a guy with a gun, so I shot. Now, do I think it's a bit nonsense that, Dean goes, show me your hand, bop, and yeah, and I get it. You don't say you're police because that's your department policy. But your department policy was meant to what? Well, we'll protect the officers. Okay. When your policy's hurting people, you're supposed to help. Maybe that's proof that's not a good policy. I mean, it's just something to think about. Like, wow, gee golly, I'm acting like a bad guy here. So, do I think it's in his situation? Like I said, I think they both had a valid claim of self defense. If she would have shot him, she should have been acquitted. In his situation, he shot her. I think he should have been acquitted. From having watched what's been presented so far, yeah, this was really bad. But I understand why the jury did it. Is it a compromise verdict? Yeah, partially. But I think for a lot of people on a jury, it's a lady was in her house minding her own fucking business and she still died. And for some jurors, that doesn't sit well with them. That you did you were minding your own business, like right now, minding my own business. And if I thought there was somebody outside and they happen to see me pull a gun, they go, and they get to shoot me as I'm sitting here minding my own business. And I think for some people, that's unfair on an innate level. It's an innately unfair. That's not how society should work. Now, is that how you should govern things as a juror? No. You should apply the law and you apply the facts. And here are the facts. They both had a fairly valid claim of self defense. But I think this is one of those situations where the jury just said, something doesn't seem right. Now, the reason why it was a compromise verdict, well, that's very likely because the jurors didn't want to keep arguing. The people wanted manslaughter. We're never going to give up. So I'm sure that they didn't agree on murder and they were stuck on manslaughter. And honestly, guys, here's what happens. When you're in a jury, oh God, I don't want to be here all day. My kid's got soccer practice. Oh shit, if I'm late again, my wife's going to kick my ass. Oh, it's tuna noodle kaboom surprise casserole night. I better get home in time for that. That happens. And when I'm doing voir dire, I explicitly ask people, look, if it's getting late and your wife's going to kill you if you're going to get home late, oh, I got to worry about the kids. I got to worry about the dog. You're not going to cut it short and wrap it up just to get it done with. And to me, it smells like that happened here. People just wanted to go home. Um, because I'm Batman 5702, it said it didn't help the defense counsel argue that her pointing a gun at him was unlawful. I didn't hear all that. Like I said, guys, I've been busy the whole time. I've been trying to catch up where I can. Yeah, she had every right to point a gun at him. You're walking around like a fucking burglar. You're allowed to do that. You're snooping around in the middle of the night with a flashlight. Guess what's gonna You do that in my yard and I see that through my bedroom window. Guess what's happening? Telling the future Mrs. Martin 2.0, call 911. And in the next, as I'm doing that, guess what's coming out? The Glock. and we're getting ready to decide if we have to do some work or not. Now, yes, I might hold the gun down and get behind the wall and scream out, "Whoever you are, identify yourself." Maybe, I'm not sure. If that thing starts, whoever it is, starts prying on my window, sorry, not sorry, man. It's just business. Okay. So, yeah, to say that she had no right, that is not a good look. Um, did she even have the opportunity to put the gun down? That's not really the problem at all. That whole like, oh, put it down, put it down. I just mentioned that because I think it shows he didn't even think. It was more reactionary than anything. So, um, Luke is saying, yeah, you don't have to give the command to say put it down. Um, Luke Pearson, you're saying, you have no duty to go, oh, wait, do you own this place? Go ahead and shoot me. You don't. But I would argue if you're an officer and you're clearing a structure, well, it's a house. Well, there's bad guys there. You know what? There might be good guys there. And good guys have guns too. So just because you see somebody who's armed, you haven't told them who you are. Well, geez, I'm looking like a bad guy as I do all this stuff. Maybe it's gonna look bad. Maybe they'll get shot. Um, Ethan saying, "Hi everyone, missed you during the finals. Hope your finals went well, man. Hope they went well. Good luck on it." Common lawyer saying, "Are we the baddies?" No, I'm not saying they're the bad guys. I just think, God, this is. I mean, if our policies are getting innocent people killed, what good is the policy? So, good marks all around. Good stuff. Captain Chroma says the problem is if she shot him, she still would. Oh yeah, that is the issue though, because once you shoot, even if you kill that guy, her partner is just gonna light you up. Which once again, there's really no way that lady would have won. Uh, Bronca is probably fuming. You're not simping for this. I don't think so. I don't think Bronca would be mad. I'm explaining. I think it was self defense and he shouldn't have been convicted. But I'm explaining to you guys why it happened, why he got convicted. Um, that happens. The jury was probably looking for somebody at the end of the day. It just doesn't look good. People in your I mean, here's the issue. Once again, your community, you're sitting there as a member of that community. You just saw a community member get killed. You could put yourself in your shoes. I'm not doing anything wrong. And to think about it, as a juror, you're going to sit there and say, wait, I could be doing everything right, minding my own business, and this flatfoot can just walk up and go, oh, a gun and shoot me, and nothing happens. That's an issue you're going to have to convince people like, yes. Now, that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. I mean, think about it just on its base level. You're minding your own business and you still get zapped. Not, oh, you're walking around outside with a gun. Just you're in your home trying to protect yourself and you still get killed. Sorry, that's it. That's a tough one for a community to accept. Yeah, Twisted Sisters. Hey guys. Yeah, she never knew that the police were outside. Yeah. JP says juries are pretty stupid. At times they are, but at times they're not. I don't think they were stupid in this situation. I mean, once again, they're allowed to say, "Hey, we think this is a whole fucked up situation." Um, if the defense had argued justification, mutual justification, rather than disparaging the victim, would things have gone differently? Asked Graham. I think it would have helped. I think it would have helped. I mean, certainly saying, "Oh, fuck her, she got what was coming to her." I mean, this was a tragic situation. To act like she got what was coming to her, that was fucking stupid. It was tragic. I mean, that's something everybody can agree on. This is a horrible thing. I mean, nobody would ever want this to happen. This, but then again, this is like, is this foreseeable? Well, yeah, you guys are skulking around like criminals. Luke Pearson says, you want me to pregame the fuck out of the closing. Um, I've heard the woman when she does her closing is rough, and maybe we'll do that another night coming up. We'll have some time, so yeah, maybe I'll take a drink or two. Yeah, I'd be pulling out the switchy. If I had a switchy, just uh, Jim is saying it was awful but lawful, and like I said, I think that's where it goes. He was convicted through prosecutorial misconduct and incompetent defense attorneys. That's where I don't know what his attorneys did, but I did hear the prosecution was misstating a lot of things. So yeah, hopefully he's can win on an appeal. Um, Arash says me doing a bump of Addy and smoking a joint before finals. That's gonna cancel each other out, man. And manifesting information as I take my finals. Hey, if it works, it works. Um, and Jim, yeah, if this is still an example of the state abusing its power to illegitimately take away someone's liberty. Yeah, I think that's where this does come down, and I think a lot of people he's a cop. Okay, great. He still has all those rights and protections. If the law is not in the state's favor, they shouldn't be allowed to bend the truth. Um, let's see here. And Dee Dee, I think you're kind of summing it up. I guess maybe I put this in a little more wordy terms, but yes, the jury's saying even if it's against the law, it should be, and morally, the police officer shouldn't get to walk away scot free. Yes, but if it's not, that's not the they should. I think they think he killed her and he didn't have the right to do it, and they don't like the fact. I mean, to them, this lady died for what reason? So, uh, if it's wrong place, wrong time, yeah, sheeple hunter, but it's hard to do that when wrong place, wrong time. You're in your house at night. I mean that's not gonna. You don't want to make that argument because Terry's gonna say, "Well, what am I supposed to do in the middle of the night in my house?" Zero fucks. If juries are finders of fact, do they ever come to a conclusion when there are women on the jury? Hey, I'm not the one who said we could put women on juries. I didn't make that decision, so you can that's all you, man. Um, Brent says I argue better in the prosecution. Well, thank you. They basically said someone has to pay. Told the jury to put themselves in the victim's shoes. Said the other cops said they were embarrassed. Well, yeah, that would be embarrassing to see your policies resulting in a innocent person getting zapped. So I appreciate that, but I will. Yeah, I heard it's only 15 minutes long, and yes, I will definitely. We'll definitely be having some of this bad boy out for that. So stay tuned. That'll be coming up. Sleazy saying from what Rackets and Bronca said, they never objected. Oh, if they didn't object to stuff, oh God, you know, if they didn't object to things, yeah, that's it. Once if it's in closing and you don't object, cows out of the barn. There is no, and that's the thing. A lot of attorneys don't like to object when it comes to closings because you're told not to, and you have to though. If they are breaking, if literally if they are violating the Constitution, you need to step in. If they're misstating evidence, you need to step in. If they're doing something they're not supposed to do, you have to speak up. Yes, it's generally frowned upon, but once again, when you are defending somebody, you have to protect them. There is no, "Oh, we'll get it later." No. It's game 7, guys. Like, you gotta fucking hit it. You can't pussyfoot around. I mean, it just what good are you? I mean, it's a fucking knife fight in an elevator. There is no there yeah. The amateur iconoclast says the defense didn't object much. Yeah, that's no bueno. No bueno. But I also think were these guys just regular defense attorneys? I mean, once again, it helps to have some specific, understanding of self-defense law and, just you can make some articulate arguments that other attorneys may not focus on. I'm sure Bronca would have probably, I don't know, I assume he went through stuff to talk about. But yeah, there's a lot of different things they could have done. But if they're just generic defense attorneys who are probably good, generally I mean, it's not it's a specialty. Luke says, I'm failing data science students right now. Give me a reason to live. Well, if you're failing them, I mean, that should be all the reason to live right there. Sweet Tooth Fairy saying, I thought you could always appeal if you're found guilty. You can, but generally speaking, if something happens during trial and you don't object, you've waived it. Meaning you can't bring it up later. Now, there are going to be some things that happen that are called plain error, meaning it's such a screw up, you can't ignore it. But those are like very, very, very big things. Like for example, plain error is I did an appeal last year. A guy had signed a jury demand. He had filed a demand saying, I want a jury for my trial. When it came time for trial, everybody forgot that he was supposed to have a jury and he never waived that right. Well, if he never waived it in writing, he was supposed to have a trial with a jury. Therefore, that was plain error. His conviction was reversed and he had to have a new trial with a jury. That's plain error. It is such a massive thing. It's a fatal defect. Stuff going on in the trial that you could have objected to, those are going to be considered, harmless error generally if you don't object to them. Oh. Defense didn't even object to the prosecutor misstating the law. Ooh. Aren't saying, yeah, they didn't object. Well, you can't appeal that issue. You can appeal every other thing, though. So, for example, you appeal the state provided sufficient the manifest weight of the evidence. The evidence was sufficient to support a conviction. Those are like the two big things you always attack. You attack ineffective assistance of counsel. Jury instructions were bad. Even if those things were not argued or objected to, you'd still bring them up. Make the court tell you it's wrong, but it doesn't count. You would still bring it up. Why? Because it might turn out to be plain error. Like there's sometimes such egregious error you can't overlook it. Richards Richards objected more than Dean's lawyers. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Oh. Zero signal saying women can be on juries. What the fuck? Parallax says, do you think Dean would have been better served by being a platinum member of Law of Self-Defense? Well, yes, if you're a platinum member of Law of Self-Defense, you get access to Andrew Branca and the group. You have the ability to ask unlimited questions. Also, if you're a platinum member of Law of Self-Defense, if something were to ever happen to you and you were in a self-defense situation, God forbid that ever happens, but you do what you got to do, you are covered as part of being assessed and being part of that program. So it is something to think about. It is not a bad idea. Because if you don't join this program and something does happen, you're not going to be able to recruit him later because he's too freaking busy. me see here. Arash saying, "Do you like small claims court?" I mean, if you're paying, like, have Gunwill travel. I mean, if you're paying, I'll come do it. It's some of that stuff is kind of ridiculous, though. And then you're saying our text message is good evidence in court. What's the text message say? Can you identify who it came from? As long as you can lay some authenticity down and establish some foundation, sure, can be helpful. Um, so yeah, just something to think about. It could be. It all depends. Jim is saying they were both former prosecutors and probably did the same shit when they were on that side. Probably. They objected once early on and it was sustained, but then they let everything go by. Yeah, well, I'll take a look at it. Apparently, people are saying Steve Gosney listened to it and just lost his mind. So maybe I'll be in a similar boat. Wrestler Town, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. Says the defense actually mentioned Bronca's book during his closing, but neglected the important parts. Oh God, I definitely am gonna have to watch. I'm curious to see what they say because, oof, that's not good. Bronco was exploding. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there was. It sounds like there were a lot of objecting. So I'll take a look at it. Like I said, maybe tomorrow night. Um, uh, Assalamu alaikum. Oh, Tarkina Meyer says she would have not gotten off if she shot him outside her house. That is not self defense. That's not always true. Now, yes, you should make sure that you are in fear of your life, but you're standing outside your window as somebody with a flashlight, and it looks like they're trying to get in through your window. Well, do you have to let them get into your house before you can defend yourself? No. Breaking into your house, burglary in the middle of the night, that is a felony. That's generally also recognized as an inherently violent felony. People don't do that, aren't generally nice about it. So you are allowed to use force if you have a reasonable belief of death or serious bodily harm. And that's going to be a lot of times an issue there. But yes, generally speaking, if they're outside your house, but where's outside your house? Down by the mailbox, or are they right up against my screen? It's all fact specific. Uh, uh, oh, geez, this is okay. So yeah, said they let janitors do it. Geez. Um, RN says, when's the last time a police officer walked? Well, generally, a lot of times they don't get indicted. So that's usually how they generally walk. Ineffective counsel. Darcy is saying ineffective counsel is one of the hardest things to get. Yeah. And I did a whole video on this way uh, back when I really started the channel up. You have to prove that had they done a better job, had they done specific things, there's a likelihood you would have won or had a different result. That's really hard. That is a very high bar. I mean, there are cases where the defense attorney fell asleep at trial and they said, "Yeah, you're still going to get convicted. Who cares?" So, yes, it is a very, very high bar to meet. Uh, um, Kevin Poss is saying, regarding the Dean trial, are they looking at manslaughter over murder as a sort of win? I mean, it's better in the fact your guy didn't get, because in Texas, murder, you can get up to like 99 years for that. Manslaughter, I think the limit's 20-25. It's like 2 to 25. Yeah, I mean, it's better than the alternative, but is it still as good as getting the dub? Getting an acquittal or a hung jury? Obviously not. And this is a try. This is a with the right attorneys. This is a winnable case. I don't think Dean was screwed. He could have won this. I don't think that would have been an issue for him. So I don't think with the right attorneys he could have walked. So yes, at the end of the day, yes, it's better than him going away forever. But still, this is not optimal at all. Kevin is saying if she shoots within the fence, I think that's got to be fair. That would not be one I'd wanna. I would not like that. I'd want them. That's not a good set of facts. Now it's Texas, so yeah, the rules are different. But geez, that's not. I would not recommend doing that. Um, Jim is saying actually in Texas, I thought you could shoot a prowler at night. Once again, absent them picking up a weapon or forcing entry, I would probably hold fire. Why? Do you really want to risk that? Like a murder charge on that? Once again, it's all you need to speak to an attorney in your wherever you live because that can be an issue. Aaron Gogol says every lawyer in the Dean trial needs a CLE from Bronca. It sounds like it. Sounds 100% like it. Rakita said 2 for 20. Oh, 2 to 20? Okay. Yeah. Sweet Tooth Fairy says, can the judge say time served? If he hasn't served any time, no. I don't think he's been in jail. He's been out on bond from what I understand. So, but yeah, if he's already been in jail for 2 years, the judge can say, yeah, 2 years time served. Um, Now I will say Dean, though, I saw a clip of his testimony. Yes, he looked like a man who realized, like, God, I fucked up. He had the weight of that woman on him. But it does sound like at one point he did joke about, like, yeah, I should have stayed home that day. Here's the thing: you kill someone, and it's not you're goddamn right. I do it again every time. Don't ever joke about it. Don't ever laugh. You shouldn't be laughing in the same decade as that testimony. That certainly probably didn't help things at all. Um, so Brenda's saying you can use force to protect property. You can, but once again, here's the deal: are you willing to risk going to prison forever over all that nonsense? Because you might be wrong, and how wrong are you willing to be? Also, there's discretion is the better part of valor. I mean, everybody likes to talk about getting it on, but are you, at the end of the day, you're going to clip somebody over something. You got to live with that. You know, I would rather avoid, like, if somebody was in my house and I had the chance to yell at them, get out, the police are coming, get away from our bedroom, don't come down this hallway. I would do that. I'm not going to sit there and wait just to ambush them if I don't have to. I'd want them to get out. Why? Well, I don't necessarily want to kill somebody. If I got to do it, I got to do it. And I'm not going to hesitate when it comes to that point. But there's a whole lot of scenarios before you get to that bridge where you could say, hey, man, the police are coming. You better leave. Or if you come down this hallway, you are not going to live. I will kill you. So, but yeah, if it's too late or they don't care, then yeah, you do what you got to do. But something to think about. Killing a man is I think Clint Eastwood said, killing a man is a hell of a thing. Uh, what's in the case behind you? A violin, which my girlfriend got me for my birthday, and I'm not very good at trying to figure out how to play it. He should not have testified. You're going to have to. If you're going to claim self defense, you're going to have to explain why you did what you did. So, But oh my god. Yes, would it be legal that you could teabag the mook you just yeeted in your hallway? Yeah, that would be bad. Also, you can't hold them up by the ears like they're a deer you just killed. That would look really bad too. Is that violin NFA compliant? No, no, it's a real violin. Yeah, yes, it's technically called a fiddle parallax. Yes. So, um, yeah, guys, that's really it for tonight. I just wanted to say once again, guys, I am back. We're gonna be back in full swing. It's gonna be great. Something I did want to bring up. We're gonna probably wrap things up in a second here. And we'll probably swing over to Joe's. But I wanted to bring this up. If you guys do come over to potentiallycriminal.locals.com, which I know has been a little dormant lately, along with everything else. Over here, it is, you know, not a bad place to go. I think it's a lot of fun. We got a lot of people here, and this one here I do think is always interesting. I put up this part from it's the mouth of a prosecutor. This was a transcript from a trial, the trial I did in May, and the guy ended up going to prison for 10 years over it. I learned about an incriminating statement made by a client about 5 minutes before we started trial, and this is the judge and the prosecutor arguing over it in chambers, and it's very interesting. I'm trying, and I might go over coming up if you guys are interested. I'm probably going to go over an appeal I did, and we got the appeal back, and surprise, surprise, the court said doesn't matter. We'll probably do that on locals coming up. There's other things we'll talk about. Jim saying check your Discord. I will in a second. Is there porn in here? Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, well, that might be a topic for tomorrow night or the weekend coming up, Jim. We'll get to that. But guys, I did want to say what I'm going to be doing on locals. This is something that's important. By noon tomorrow, you don't have to pay. You don't have to support it, but just follow me on locals. That doesn't cost you anything. It's entirely free. There are I'm gonna take everybody who's there, paid or following, and I've got some gifts to give away. And I'm gonna take everybody's name, assign it a number. I'm gonna get a hold of a number generator, and I've got I don't know how many do I have. I think I got like 12 at least to give away, and I will contact you and get a hold of you, get your address, and I will mail you out some neat stuff coming up. Meet Candy saying, "Do I show bottle pics of my butt on locals? What about the girlfriend? I hear that's how you get top local sub count." Yeah, it ain't happening. There ain't enough money in the world for that. Um. Oh, Luke, we will watch it. We'll watch it. It'll be a fun time. Yeah, once a week sucks. That's why we're gonna work on it. Trot Golfer says, "What's Joe's channel?" Joe's channel is Good Logic, and hopefully, he's got it set up. I can redirect from here because I do that if we're gonna do something here. Come on, customization, redirect, add. There we go. Yes, so we're all set for that. And I will, like I said, guys, by noon tomorrow, sign up, and I will see you there, and we will have some fun. No, no Baldos. No, I'm not sending out Baldos. Not at all. Fed boy confirmed. Hey, Tubbs, maybe. Sue, yes, I did see that, but I'm trying to find one where there's the audio for this. Okay, so what the rapper was facing his RICO case, and somebody snuck into the Zoom feed and started playing porn in the middle of court. I'm gonna try to find audio for this because it sounds absolutely hilarious. um, I don't think Locals has a upload limits below a terabyte, so I don't think a pick of Sean's ass can happen. Oh, well, as long as your mom's face isn't in the picture too, that'll help. Um, you hear there's multiple Zoom courts. Nice. We'll take a look at it. I'm gonna try to find it. Am I gonna be on next stream? I don't know. He hasn't. I don't know if he's invited people or sorted that out yet. But I mean, if he does, he does. If not, it's not, guys. I'll be there. If either way, I'll be there in chat with you guys hanging out. So, Zero Fucks is two girls, one Sean. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys, that is it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody who's been here. If you guys are watching on Rumble, hey out there in Rumble Land. I should just double check nothing happened out there on Ruble. If you were on Facebook watching, thank you for being there. I know that's something I'm going to start. Nick has really recommended that, and I'm really trying to push out there into Boomer Book Land. And if you were here, thank you so much. I always appreciate it. You know, you guys are always good to me, always taking care of things. 30 watching on Rumble's awesome. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. Hit that plussy over on Rumble. Dana White's on a contract with Rumble. Ooh, that's going to be good. All right, guys. So everybody, have a nice night. Take care. Remember, until next time. Damn, I gotta get this thing out of the way. Remember, until next time, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Good night, everybody. And broadcast.